everyone, welcome back. I'm Rachel, your coach with New Leaf Wellness and Nutrition, and I think that was my chair, pardon my chair cracking. I'm so happy to be with you today on my social media this week. If you follow me, I've been talking a lot about something we take for granted and we really shouldn't, and that is our breath. I wrote a blog post too, which I'll link to in the description, and sorry about my chair. And I wanted to share a little bit more deeply about one of the practices that I had in the blog post because I kind of have a fun little way I do it, and I described it in the blog post, but I thought I'd walk you through it a little bit too, so you can kind of see what I mean a little bit better. But most of us are just not breathing deeply enough. A lot of times we're just hunched over our desks, we sit a lot, we're not moving and getting about as much as we ought to, a lot of us. And for those of us who were raised in diet culture, a lot of us are holding our breaths, sucking in our stomachs because we, have been taught to do that, so we'll appear smaller. And this is something that I am struggling with still because, 50 years or so of sucking your gut is hard to get past. So it's something that I still have to remind myself to breathe more deeply and to let out my stomach so that I can relax and the breath can get deeply in there. Because if we don't breathe deeper into our bellies, we're not getting that full oxygen carbon dioxide exchange, full breathing in, full breathing out. And so our bodies can really suffer. It can lead to high blood pressure and a high heart rate, and it'll make us feel anxious even if we're not, because our bodies perceive that short, shallow breathing as being more anxious, in a more anxious state, and so our body acts accordingly. So learning to breathe more deeply and bring really attention to something that we don't often pay enough attention to, because of course it happens automatically. We just keep on breathing, so we don't really think about it. But paying more attention means that we can really get those deep breaths that we need. And one of the ways that is one of my favorites to do to really focus on breathing is called box breathing, sometimes called square breathing, and that's because of the way, so I'm going to draw you a little diagram, which of course I tried to kind of do in my blog post, and that's why I wanted to come here and share it with you so you could kind of get a visual. So box breathing is simply breathing in for 4 counts, just nice deep breath for 4 counts, and so that's kind of like this side of the box, right? And then you hold at the top, you hold that breath, and that's kind of the top of the box for 4 counts, and then exhale. That's this side of the box for 4 counts, and then hold at the bottom for 4 counts. So, you get my point. Well, one of the things that I love to do with that in meditation is to create a kind of a visual around that box breathing. So what I do is I imagine myself, and I actually can do this. I'll do this when I'm sitting outside as well, and in real time, keep my eyes open and do this that I'm going to explain to you. But if I'm just sitting on my cushion, I'll actually just imagine myself someplace amazing and beautiful. For me, I will often imagine myself sitting on a beach. Sometimes I imagine myself sitting in the mountains. Sometimes it's a desert landscape, just whatever strikes me. And what I do is imagine as I'm taking that inhale, as I'm drawing this side of the box, I imagine myself like looking across the landscape in front of me, whatever that is. Let's take the ocean, for example. So I look across the sea. I look at the waves starting to form out in the distance, the little white caps out there, any boats or something like that I might imagine. So I imagine myself looking across, and that's my upward. So across and upward to the horizon in that inhale. And then as I hold, I imagine gazing across the horizon with that hold, that 4 count hold, and seeing maybe the sun is coming up, or maybe there's clouds on the horizon, or maybe it's that distant line that's just way out there, and you can almost sort of see the edge of the world. And then as I exhale, I come back down this side by coming down from the horizon back across the water again, and looking at the waves, looking at that deep, deep blue. And then on that hold that's the bottom of the box, I imagine my eyes scanning across the sand in front of me, the waves coming up onto the beach, that mark that they leave, those little bubbles from whatever's under the sand, that kind of thing. And that visualization just is so meditative and beautiful to me. The visualization and the kind of the counting in the back of your mind for those counts, it really brings you into that space. And it's just a lovely way to meditate, to be really present in your mind in that space. That's a way to have some nature when maybe it's not a time where you can get out and experience. I live in the West. There's no ocean here for me, but some of those landscapes I can access and become connected to the natural world that way as well. So it's a beautiful way of using that box breathing to not only get better breath for myself, but also have a beautiful meditation time. So I really wanted to share that with you because I love it, and give it a try, because I just think it's lovely. And you can do it for just a few rounds of breathing, or you can really get into that state and just enjoy for as long as you like. Stay there as long as you want. All right, I've gone way over time explaining this lovely practice, so thank you for being here and being attentive. As always, come find me on social media. It's at New Leaf Wellness and Nutrition everywhere. And of course, hit the subscribe button if you want to know when new videos come out. And I really do hope you'll try that special visualization using box breathing, because I think it's really magical. All right, until next time, keep breathing.